What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we got the Michigan versus Minnesota preview video. Going to be going over the keys to the game, key matchups, key players, and ultimately what to expect in this one. I'm also going to go over, what I want to see out of this Michigan team going up against Minnesota, as they're coming off of a very good win over USC, but still lots to improve on. It's all going to be in this video, so let's go ahead and get right into it here. So Michigan coming in ranked number 12th in the nation at 3-1, obviously coming off of that huge win over USC. Now Minnesota, on the other hand, it has been a rough start to the year. They are 2-2 on the season, and it definitely is not looking good for them in the near future, with games against Michigan and USC upcoming. They're coming off a 31-14 loss to Iowa last weekend. Now they did lose to North Carolina in their first game of the season, 19-17, probably a game they should have won. They missed a game-winning field goal, but we're going to go ahead and get right into it here. We're going to talk about the Michigan offense against this Minnesota defense, and I think we kind of already got a preview of how this matchup between Michigan's offense and Minnesota's defense is going to look, and it was the Michigan-Iowa game last weekend. As Minnesota, they led at halftime 14-7, but Iowa's ground game had 272 total rushing yards in just 62 passing yards. Iowa's running back Caleb Johnson rushed for 206 yards and 3 touchdowns. So Minnesota, they have been having trouble stopping the run this season, and they're really going to have to be asked to play a similar game this week against Michigan, as Michigan last weekend rushed for 290 yards against USC and only had 32 passing yards. Obviously, Michigan made the switch of quarterback from Davis Warren to Alex Orji. This offense has found their identity. They're going to run the ball. It's a run-heavy offense. This offensive line has had pass protection problems, which that is one thing I'm looking for Michigan to improve on this game against Minnesota, but that run blocking has definitely improved for Michigan's offensive line, and it's even backed up by some stats, as in weeks 1 and 2, Michigan's yards before contact per carry was 1.79 and 1.50 in weeks 1 and 2, and in week 3 it improved to 2.36 against Arkansas State, and in week 4 it was 3. Now in defense, Minnesota does have 2 edge rushers, Ja Joyner and Danny Strigo, who have combined for 15 pressures, and also backup Anthony Smith has added 8. They also have linebacker Cody Lindenberg and cornerback Justin Wally and nickelback Jack Henderson. But as we've mentioned, the weakness is the run defense of this Minnesota defense, which pans out for this Michigan offense, because they are going to be a run-heavy offense from here on out with Alex Orji in there as quarterback. So Minnesota's defense is going to be asked to play a similar game they did against Iowa. They're going to have to stop the run. Now, USC last weekend, they fairly did good against Michigan's run offense, except for the long runs. They, let up Khalil Mullings and Donovan Edwards a few long runs there in that game, especially with 2 minutes to go in the game. Khalil Mullings just dragging defenders with him. In the second half, USC's defense really did really good. Michigan had no answer offensively until that final touchdown drive, but Michigan has made it evident they are going to keep going to their rushing attack. They are going to wear you down until they finally get that long run off. But what I am looking for improvement from this offense is, looking for Alex Orji to find a rhythm in the passing game a little bit with these receivers, and hopefully if Colston Loveland is playing, that should help this passing game for Michigan. I feel like the run game, if Michigan continues to pound the ball and has success, Minnesota is going to stack the box just like almost any defense is going to this season, and that should help open up the passing game for Alex Orji and make it should make it easier for him. But these receivers have to win their one-on-one matchups, and getting Colston Loveland for that should be huge for this Michigan passing offense. So pass protection and the passing game, looking for a little bit more light in the passing game. So I do expect Michigan though to really pound the ball and run it up Minnesota's defense, run it down their throats. And as far as the Minnesota offense against Michigan's defense. Minnesota has the graduate quarterback Max Brosmer, who did transfer from the FCS. Right now in the season, he's connecting on 65.8% of his passes for 836 yards, 5 touchdowns, does have 3 interceptions, including 2 last game against Iowa. Now Minnesota, under PJ Fleck, they really look to establish the run, but right now they aren't really a good rushing team, at least offensively. So, Michigan has made it evident all season long, you're not going to be able to run the ball against them. So this Minnesota offense, they could be in for a long day against this Michigan defense, and I kind of expect that. Now Minnesota's strengths offensively, they have running back Darius Taylor, they have their quarterback Brosmer, who is an upgrade, Ethan Kaliakmanis, who I believe transferred to Rutgers. Now Minnesota's offensive line, they do have quite experience on the offensive line. They really haven't lived up to the hype, though. Now, I think the key to this game for Michigan's defense, though, is getting pressure on Brosmer. If they can really disrupt his rhythm, it's going to be a long day for this Minnesota offense. I don't see them being able to have success running the ball. I don't think many teams this season is going to have success running the ball against that interior defensive line of Michigan. And Minnesota's offensive line in the running game, really they haven't been able to get a good push up front. In pass protection, they have done a pretty good job, though. When Brosmer is dropping back, only 24.6% of his dropbacks he is under pressure. So Michigan's defensive line, though, coming off of definitely by far their best game against USC. They got all over Miller Moss in that last game. So I ultimately expect a dominant performance for Michigan, especially on the defensive side. It's also why I'm taking Michigan covering the spread, which right now is only 9.5, somewhere in there. And I think my score prediction for this one is going to be 28-3 Michigan. I think their offense is going to get it done on the running game. I hope to see the passing game improve, but I don't know if they're gonna score that many points in this one. So 28-3 is my score prediction. Let me know your guys' predictions in the comment section down below. And I really just fully expect Michigan to dominate in this one. Looking at what they did against USC last week and then looking at what Iowa did against Minnesota, it just makes sense. Michigan's gonna be able to run the ball all over Minnesota, I think. And I just think Michigan's defense is too elite for this Minnesota offense, and they should be able to shut them down pretty good in this one. So there should be no hangover from last week for Michigan getting a huge win over USC. They should improve to 4-1 and will have a big matchup on the road against Washington in week 6. But with that, that's going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. And other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.